Hello, everybody. It's What the Flick. We're talking about The Leftovers, Episode 6. The guest, Hank Thompson.
Hello.
Young Turk and comedian Hank Thompson is here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Along with,
He was here while you were on vacation.
I filled in for you.
Perhaps you didn't
Young
watch.
Turk and comedian Hank Thompson is back. Thanks for rejoining us.
Absolutely.
I watched it. I loved it.
Take more vacations, please. I need
I did not, yeah. So Episode 6 is The Guest. It was my favorite episode, and the trailer will give you a little indication of why.
You can play by the rules, or you can go down the rabbit hole with us.
Oh, yes!
You are all blind puppets. The department of the sudden departure is an elaborate smokescreen.
I lost everything.
If you were in pain, you would know there is no moving on.
Someone is impersonating me.
Who would want to pretend to be you?
Seeing a trailer after you've seen the episode is very interesting.
Yeah.
Like what they decide is going to be the thing that's going to...
she's got a grenade in her hand. Oh my God, it's going to go up. Is there terrorism? But, somebody gets shot, and of course, no grenade. But,
No.
And yes, someone sort of got shot. But the reason why it was my favorite episode, aside from that, I really like more you learn about Nora.
Yeah,
She's the
definitely.
most interesting character. They did a great thing with Kevin in this episode that I loved, but mostly it took us out of town. And it gave us perspective of how the rest of the world is dealing with. And suddenly, to me, the show felt bigger. And in feeling bigger, it felt better to me.
Well, I mean, I like what they're doing in general, in the macro, I guess, of taking this global event and showing it to us in a small town.
Yes.
Because in that way, it's
yeah.
easier to sort of deal with. Here's the government, and here's police, and here's the newspaper. Like here's all the religion. Here's all the pieces, and they all know each other. They're all close together, and so it's manageable for us as outsiders to get to know it. But you're right. It is cool to have this sort of visit to New York City and to see suddenly how's it playing there.
It gives me. I agree with you on the town, except I felt the wrong kind of claustrophobic. It didn't. I was curious, how must the rest of the world be? This didn't happen to 140 million people. It didn't happen to just this town. And it has put the behavior, the sometimes peculiar behavior of the people in the town in a proper perspective, because we see these religious movements in the town now, and now we got a glimpse in New York City. It's off the charts. There's thousands of them. They're everywhere.
And there's the whole media apparatus building. Like there's conferences, there's authors coming out of the woodwork with their own experiences, hucksters, people taking advantage of the thing, which is all extremely realistic.
Conspiracy
It
theories.
suddenly felt
Yeah.
right. It felt that's
bigger.
a great. It felt bigger, and it felt realistic. Like all of a sudden, I was like, oh yeah, we're still in our world.
Yeah.
This is just 3 years from now,
Yeah.
and it's still our world, and people are still paying for stuff, getting
Conferences
hookers
still
on
suck.
PayPal, and they're still,
I have to say, this is hookers get cash.
That's
The
right.
PayPal is for Huggy Bear.
PayPal was for Huggy.
This is actually a show I think that would benefit from a sort of Blair Witch style kind of side marketing, where like if HBO set up a fake website that was about this world and about have you lost a loved one, or like a fake website for that loved ones company, say,
like the way they opening this episode with the commercial.
Exactly.
The commercial was like 97% of the way there. There were a couple of little tiny things that I thought were wrong with it, but it was good.
And weirdly enough, they didn't close caption the commercial.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know why. I watched the show with the captions on, and they didn't close caption the commercial. But no, it was great. I thought it was they pegged a lot of what those ask your doctor if whatever is right for you. But yeah, no, this was we talk about this show needing more humor, and I think there was a lot of that in this episode. People party down at conventions.
Yeah, she smiled. She smiled. Hank, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What? No, I was going to say I skipped the commercial because I thought it was an HBO commercial. I just I was like, okay, here's
it was
the
so
beginning.
well done that it was really exceptionally well done.
But man, it makes me want to go to conventions, huh? And bring some pills and some booze.
Yeah,
really
why'd she want to go to
have at it.
Miami? Go to that convention. Her character. Well, first of all, let me get to the thing I liked that they did with Kevin. They did a great one-line thing with Kevin, where he either said, "I don't have a sense of humor," or "Nothing is funny to me."
Like nothing makes me laugh.
Are you kidding? And he's like, "I don't kid. I'm humorless." Something like that. It was essentially that he's humorless. And I don't know, a light went off. Like, yes, like he knows it. So all his sort of seriousness, those moments when we've talked about, like, show us some life, like having him acknowledge that, no, this is who I am, and maybe this is who I was before. Maybe this was, but certainly now, like, I don't know, but he even smiled as he said it. And I don't know, all of a sudden that I connected to a much greater extent with him, who I've been struggling with.
So he went from being somebody who just felt sort of dour and humorless as a mechanics of the show to someone who legitimately
to a character
was,
who has a thing, right?
That's part of who he is.
Part of who he is, and I enjoyed that very much.
It was great chemistry building between her and him in that moment, though, because he said two things, and I don't remember exactly what, but he said things that were anti-humor, but they both made her laugh.
Yes, that's
showing
right.
that there's going to be some sort of good connection there.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
you
that
can't
worked really
want
well.
them to get together.
Yeah.
I just love, oh, fuck your daughter. That was so great.
Yeah, that was great.
He's got to explain that giant back tattoo. That's got to come out.
Yeah,
that
that
third or fourth date.
And then the thing that the woman that she stalked into the bathroom, who she thought had stolen her Nora Durst sign, when she said I was having such a tough time last year, and she was like, "Oh boy, you're much better now." Like, I mean, that was great. That was funny. And then of course she does the same thing she did last year to the black guy who wrote the book.
Right.
You know, right? Just sort of yelling at
How
someone,
dare
making
you,
them feel
and-
horrible
yeah.
in a public place.
Did he deserve that?
No, because she's about to next year. She might write the book.
Well,
right?
yeah, clearly, I was going to say, I mean, it's hard to say, because obviously pre-Huggy Bear, she thinks so, but now, yeah, who
Right.
knows? And so, that's obviously the big climax of this episode, is that she has the moment with Holy Wayne. Tom Noonan! How great it is to see Tom Noonan on TV.
Good. If Tom Noonan's in it, it's a little better.
Totally, yeah.
I mean that for everything. Yeah.
And so to have that happen, and then and so now we're like, okay, is he holy, or is it a thing where, like we were saying, is it like a hypnotist, where it's just the power of suggestion, where he tells you that he's gonna be your sin eater, or whatever the equivalent is, and then people believe it.
And he runs on hot Asian chicks. That's obviously been established. that's somehow involved. I hope we get an explanation on that. But yeah, like is it her believing that she just needs that pain, and he
I don't think
somehow
so.
gives her
I mean,
permission?
of course, obviously, we don't know, but I think it's real because, of course, this is a world of which there would be a zillion people claiming.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the sense that, you know, in the 1820s in America, there were thousands of prophets. Only one of them made it, Joseph Smith, right? But so
he lawyered up,
right, right. But and so it may be that he's just going to be the most successful and he's a fraud. But I don't think so. I think what we saw from the congressman or the senator in the beginning was some sort of tangible effect, and partially because it's Lindelof, right? That it makes me think that, you know, that Lost had that sort of unexplained mysticism, that there will be something to it, that it's not nothing. And
it was cool how he was like, he's like, I don't really know who you are. I don't care. I'm tired. Like,
right,
so
right.
yeah.
He didn't
a dirty shirt.
He didn't sell it, but he did get
his money.
He's got an advance man, and you paid the $1,000, and so I think that and they clearly are targeting the people who need it most, and maybe the people who need it most need to believe it the most. So I'm not ruling out that there could be some.
Yeah, and I'm not ruling out that he could be a giant fraud, but it didn't seem like. It's certainly not how we generally do frauds on television.
Sure.
Like, you know, it's beat up, it's a rundown place.
And the show's based on a supernatural event, so it's possible there are other supernatural
And it seems
things.
when he took her pain, that he was struck by the amount of pain, and he did recognize, oh, you've lost a lot of people, more than one. He feels something, and like John Coffey in The Green Mile, like he takes some of that, he seems to take some of it in. And he also said, which I think is going to turn out to be true, we'll find out, of course, you know, he sees his own death coming.
And then he goes to the bathroom and coughs up a bunch of bees.
Right, yeah, totally.
Or has sex with a hot young Asian girl, and then suddenly things get better.
Haven't we all?
I loved it. I like the whole premise of Nora getting to be sort of identity free at this conference for a while, and just being guest. And so, you know, getting invited to that party, hearing what those people at the party say about people like her, who are survivors or whatever the word is they're using, legacies, whatever the word that they
choose this year.
They change they change it constantly. So for her to kind of get that glimpse into how into the perception of what people say when you're not around, you know.
And yes, and so and she didn't resist it. She liked it.
Yeah.
She agreed. You know, that moment where she's like, yeah, totally. It seemed to register, and oddly enough, right after a failure at registration, but then she didn't like it. Like, she is completely torn. Like, she craved that anonymity, and it allowed her to be some aspect of who she used to be, that anonymity.
But it's in her identity relies upon
the outpouring of support and the grief that they feel in the way the hotel security cop was like, oh, Jesus, you lost 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where because when first they give her the guest thing and she walks away, I would have come back too. I'd have been like, hey, no, I don't get, I know it's just a badge, but you don't get to ignore me. You don't get to reduce me to nothing.
Right.
So
I didn't lose my
love her.
kids and family for nothing. All right. I want those achievement stickers.
Give me those labels.
Right. I deserve a proper label.
In addition to Tom Noonan, this episode gave us Billy Magnuson as the You Don't Want to Know What I Do guy.
Yeah.
Who he was on As the World Turns. I remember him from that, but also from Damsels in Distress. He's a cool character actor who pops up every so often.
Yeah, he's good, and he, it was rare to see a guy like that almost always plays a bad guy. Like, he's got his hair is too perfect. He's
too good looking.
He's too good looking, and his hair is too blonde. He's James Spader, or he's early James Spader. He's
sweep the leg Johnny.
Right, exactly.
William Zabka.
Right, yeah, he's always gonna who could have been James Spader. Right.
Kind of the Ken doll phoniness thing going on.
Right,
the guy your wife sleeps with at a conference.
But he wasn't, which I liked here.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He has this job, and they all have these, and he is troubled by his job. He badly wanted her to tell him that he wasn't soulless.
Right, and exploiting a tragedy.
Yeah, which of course he is. But what are you going to do? There's again, people come to them. There's a
exactly.
Yeah,
somebody else would do it.
Is it wrong to provide a service for people? He's just a taxidermist for the departed, basically.
If there wasn't a need for that kind of closure on the part of a lot of people, then that business wouldn't exist.
We're doing a story on the Young Turks today as we tape this of a Kim Kardashian game where the Avatar, where and it makes like $700,000 a day right now, and it's just you design clothes to put on the Kim Kardashian avatar so that you can achieve more social status points and get into the coolest clubs.
Yep.
All fake, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of people on my Facebook list are playing that stupid game.
Right, so it's making money and people are paying it. Some are paying it, some are presumably are playing it because they think it's cool. Others are playing it ironically.
Sure,
perhaps. But either way, okay.
She makes money either way.
There's a need, right, she makes money either way, and there's a need for that. This is a need. Like, I find it hard to believe that the Billy Magnuson character, what was his name on the show?
Marcus.
I can't imagine I'd be friends with him.
Right.
But you get to do it.
And it's sort of like if they weren't doing it, somebody else would.
Yeah, of course. Right.
So I don't know.
I don't know. And I saw, because I was a week behind, I was on vacation, I saw the only thing I was able to see while on vacation of all these shows was I saw episode 5. I saw Gladys.
Yeah.
And I loved that one too. That was the most tense episode.
Yeah.
And then to follow it up with this, like all of a sudden, it was right around the time that Boardwalk Empire did it. It took like 4 episodes for Boardwalk Empire, right at the point that I was like, I don't even care. All of a sudden now episode 7's next week, and here it is on Monday, and I'm thinking, when's the leftovers on? Let's go. I got into it.
I feel like we've been rewarded for sticking to it, because I know a lot of people have already bailed, and I think the show just keeps getting better. It's richer, and we're getting more of the stuff that we were complaining about not getting early on, because it was pacing it out.
We're getting answers. We know what she's doing. We know where those bodies that fell out on the street are from.
Right.
We know a lot more about what Wayne's doing and what he is. We now understand that what Kevin's stepson is up to. I mean, it's a cult, but we now see, again, the broader picture. We see
and there's even guilty remnants in New York City.
Right, there's guilty remnants
I did like that.
In New York City.
The Department of Sudden Departure, where she works, is so intriguing to me. Like the questionnaire thing really caught me at the end of it. Like, first of all, the way they just set it up, you don't know what the question is.
121.
Answering yes to, and what are they all about? What are they? I mean, because they're sort of taking a scientific, government bureaucratic approach to go like, okay, let's figure out. Let's look
is there
for
any kind of pattern?
Like they said, that sugar cereal correlates
or
with
are
people
they?
getting picked.
Or was the Nora Durst imposter correct? And then they just burn it all. It's just a way to delay paying.
Yeah.
And they burn it all in Tallahassee. It would suggest that that's something the government could do, because they don't appear to be taking very seriously.
Yeah, because she's got that stock answer about, I don't even know, it all goes to Annapolis.
And in Gladys, we learned they're not investigating.
No, they're just burning her up.
They're just burning those bodies. They're not really doing serious investigation.
And obviously, we also know that the ATF S1E6 is perfectly welcome to storm your compound with the flimsiest of excuses.
Right.
So
And
there is they are building an overarching conspiracy about
the show
all
is
this.
so good, it's got us excited about new government bureaucracies. That's pretty cool.
It kind of reminds me of a not entirely successful show, but Torchwood Miracle Day, where suddenly everyone stops dying, and how the world copes with that, and how suddenly you find out that there's these secret government this is not a spoiler because the show was on like years ago. Like these secret government camps where they're basically they're sending living old people into ovens just to get rid of them because
What's the James Gandolfini, the last movie he did?
Enough Said?
Yes, Enough Said. So when I was on vacation, in discussing Enough, we started a conversation about Enough Said, and a person at the table hadn't seen it and was like, no. Like, hey, I can't.
There's a statute of limitations here.
Somewhere. I can't talk about a movie that 4 of us have seen and you go see it. Or leave the fucking table. Yeah.
Rosebud was his sled.
Yeah, that's right. Shit. So I don't know. I really was into this. I thought, what's her name? Carrie Coon? I have that quite right.
The actress.
Who plays Nora?
Yeah.
She'll always be Nora Durst in my heart.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's good. And that moment versus the scene with the hooker who shoots her is good.
Mm-hmm. The whole thing of the grocery store where she maintains everything in the house, like down
fresh.
to the perishable items, just to be identical as of the day when they all left.
But maybe a placebo, but cured by Wayne.
Sure.
Yeah.
No. Clearly, it's made a difference. And it'll be interesting to see what post-Wayne Nora in a relationship with Kevin is like versus what a
Yeah, because maybe he's not ready for post-Wayne Nora.
They showed her shopping afterwards. Was she doing the same thing?
She was shopping, but for different stuff, like for the stuff that she actually wanted.
Yeah, she didn't go to the park to stare at the kids and be a creeper.
She was staring at the teacher who had the affair with her husband.
That's right.
And
then subsequently we're to believe the next time she wasn't. She was like,
she's over it, let it go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I found it all
and
fairly.
her face looked different after post Wayne, after the hug. Like she seemed different.
And the whole, of all the things that we've seen of people doing damage themselves just so they can feel something, getting shot in the chest, that's upping the ante for sure.
Just get close to me. You don't have to stand far away and shake it around.
And shake. Right.
Pistols are hard to shoot accurately. You can go right there. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. Get right.
Yeah.
You can do Kevlar that close and it won't.
I don't know, but it's better than.
I don't know that you
want
to be at close range.
I don't know that you want to be her shaking.
I don't know that you want to be further away. Yeah, that's true.
You'll wash the gunpowder burns out of it.
Yeah, but I liked that scene, and I don't know. I was into it, and I now want more.
Yeah, we know the going rate for having a hooker shoot you with a Kevlar vest is $3,000.
But Nora keeps a tremendous amount of cash in the house.
Yeah.
I'll need another 1,000. All right.
The next hooker will be PayPal. Next time she gets shot.
Well, and I think that could be that's another one of those things of how people behave in the wake of this
Maybe
thing.
They have a lot of cash,
people on our planet here on Earth act crazy, and this hasn't happened.
That's true. So what's our excuse?
That's what I like about the show is like, people do weird, crazy shit, and they find themselves in these new rhythms of behavior that they're using to manage their emotions, and that's one of the things I really connect with the show.
Okay, good stuff. Next week, episode 7, 4 more to go. In the leftovers.
Yeah.
Hank, thanks for being.
I'm thrilled to be here, man. I love talking. My opinion is the most important thing to me. So
thanks
for paying attention.
And to us.
And to come on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.